So my name is Daphne Donaldson. I am the Supervisor of Personnel Management for high school programs with the East Baton Rouge Parish School System in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So I actually met Evan at an ASPA event in San Antonio, I believe. And so I met him for the first time there. I thought it was a really great program. I thought it was really cool. And so I brought it back to my district and they were like, no, are you crazy? But I saw the vision of the idea of having a virtual learning community. I got my master's online. I love the computer. I love the internet. And so I saw it and they didn't see it at first. So I kept kind of bringing it to them and I actually kept the information that Evan gave me in a folder in my office. And so when I moved up to Supervisor of Personnel Management and we had a new recruiter, I presented it to her. And I said, you really need to share this because you're looking for teachers. And so she brought it back up and I kind of piggybacked on it. And so we were able to connect with Ted, I believe, was the first person we were able to connect with after the initial idea. And so it took a few months for the idea to take hold and we were able to actually start it 2016-17 school year was our first year. And it was really exciting. It was an emergency thing. And sometimes the best things occur in the midst of an emergency. We had some really high needs vacancies that we needed addressed. And so I was like, hey, let's just try it and see. And we did. And the schools that utilized the program really felt it was very successful with the student achievement. And the parents liked it, the students liked it, the principal was very happy, which makes a big difference. And so by that summer, we were looking at expanding it in a different and broader direction. So I think I serve as a liaison for proximity to the district and to the principals. So what I kind of handle is working with our IT department at the district to make sure that we have a easy, smooth transition of getting information about student data into the hands of proximity so that they can facilitate the courses. Also, I handle training our facilitators. So we do meetings that are virtual. So just kind of talking about any issues that they're having. I help them troubleshoot some of those issues. Ted Robinson and Mike and Cavanis, they work really well with us. So whenever we have a question, they're always very intuitive to that. So my thing is kind of the connection piece. I kind of connect all the pieces on both parties. Really, we would have subs, right? And not that subs aren't, we don't have some great substitutes in our school district. Our students deserve teachers, and we know that there is a teacher shortage. And so, our kids deserve the best teachers possible and access to education and opportunities. And I think it's really cool for the students. Many of our students have never left the state of Louisiana, right? And so they're being taught by someone that might be in Tennessee, and they get to share a story about their experiences in their lives in Tennessee. So you're giving your kids access to the country. You're giving your kids access to so much more information and perspectives, and I think that's important. So there's always challenges implementing any new program. And for us, proximity, the initial challenge was the buy-in, right? For our principals, they kind of didn't understand it. It had been presented to them previously. They still didn't understand it. So you sometimes have to just jump into the deep end of the water so that, wow, you can figure out, hey, I can float, right? And then I can swim. And so that's what we had to do. And I think that's the thing that we utilized, and we just kind of jumped in, and as we were dealing with any types of issues or problems, we had great customer service through proximity. They worked with us. Our IT department was great. They worked with us on a lot of things, and our principals were really open to it. And I think that's important to have that administrator that is open and willing to listen and willing to try something new. So we've had some great feedback. For our ESL students, it's been very helpful for them because, we looked at it in terms of we had students who just came into the country, right? They're 14 years old. I'm having to start at a new high school. I don't know the language. I don't know any of the people. You're expecting me to learn content in a different language, and you want me to be successful in this, right? We're asking all of these things of these kids. And for our students, it was really hard. And we knew that bringing this was going to be very helpful. And so the parents of many of our ESL students have been very appreciative of the opportunity. Also, for some of our traditional students who sometimes, just being in a traditional classroom did not work for them. Having the ability to watch the lesson again the next day or the next day until I get it, or that night, that made a difference. And so our test results showed great promise across the board. And one of the things we wanted to do this year was make sure if we were going to do it, implement it early so that they had the opportunity to have access for the entire year, so we can really see the full impact of proximity and the data and see what that data shows us. But overall, I mean, our parents have been very pleased. For some parents, it was like, what do you mean? How is my child going to do this? One of the things we instituted this year with our facilitators was to have them utilize remind.com as a kind of virtual piece to communicate with parents. So as assignments were due, as information worksheets, they could put it on there, or the proximity facilitator, instructor or facilitator could actually access it, and that could be shared and communicated with parents. And so parents could be able to communicate back with it, and it's free, it's simple, and it's been very useful with our classes and with our students.